Hello again from Twin Oaks. Welcome back. I'm going to show you our almost 6-week-old flock of meat chickens and let you in on a little known secret about raising chickens for meat. Most people don't realize that when you raise chickens for producing poultry, producing the meat that we eat from them, there is typically a 20% flock loss whenever you attempt to raise meat birds. So if you've raised meat chickens before and you had less percentage of flock loss, you had a lot of survivors, then you did excellent. Because typically, if you raise 100 birds, you're going to lose 20 of them. And actually, want to let you in on why it has been a really rough about week 10 days here at Twin Oaks Farm for us. This flock is, like I said, almost 6 weeks old, and you can see the size of them. They are full grown. They're finished. This is a good size of bird that we want to take to the processor to go ahead and have processed from feathered chicken into freezer chicken. So this flock started out with 102 birds in it, and as I said, we've had kind of a rough week, 10 days. The reason for that is because we're now down to 74 birds in this flock. So that represents about a 29% flock loss. That is pretty high for us. Our flock loss is typically less than 15%, maybe 10%, maybe 11%, but certainly less than even the industry norm of 20%. So this is a really big deal to us, something that we want to manage for and correct in the future, that we had a flock with 29% loss. And that kind of inspired a series that we're going to do here on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. And by the way, while you're here, I hope you've pressed the subscribe button. If you haven't, I hope you will press the subscribe button. This really is a nice looking pen of chickens, these survivors. But that little fact of the flock loss typically is 20%, and we've experienced this high flock loss, and I'm going to explain that to you. I'm going to tell you why. But that little fact has inspired us to want to do this video series. We're going to do it in about 3 parts. We're going to call it The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And what brought that on was actually we did kind of an impromptu interview with one of our sons, and just 3 questions. We said, tell us what's good about raising meat chickens, what's bad about it, and tell us the ugly truth about it. So he had some great answers, and over about 3 more videos, we're going to tell you what his answers were and expound on that just slightly. So this is kind of warming us up to introducing that series, and we're going to do that, like I said, starting this week in about 3 different videos. And also, we're going to do another series. We're starting a new flock from, there's one stretching, from day-old birds here in about 2 days. And we're going to do a series with them. We're going to take you through the operation of raising them in a small poultry operation from the time they're a day old to when they are ready to go to the processor. So that's going to be done in about 8 parts, so the 2 series will kind of overlap. But while we're here today, I wanted to show you the size of the chickens when they're about ready to go to the processor. So you're getting a pretty good, that one's stretching its leg. Here's one stretching. So you're getting a pretty good look at the size of them. So I want to show you that. Also want to show you 2 birds, if I can find them both in here, that are really unique. And then I want to show you what we transport them in. So that's what we're going to finish up with. So I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see on the camera here, but this bird right here, you can see these birds, they're all really white, nice and white. And this isn't the lighting in the pen, this is for real. This bird has a different, almost like a tan color, like the color we see on our Buff Orpingtons. It almost looks like the feathers are stained, but they're not stained. That chicken has actually got some tan on it. So these are Cornish Rock Cross birds, but they're actually a mix of about 4 breeds over multiple generations that produces this bird that just can grow super, super fast. And so that contributes to what I talked about, the kind of high mortality. And I said I'd explain that in this group. What happened was they experienced some temperature stress, some cold stress in about their second week. And when that happens, it does impact a high mortality in their 4th and 5th week because it affected the function of their heart. And as you can see with the quick growth, their heart's working really hard anyway. And then when you add in like a temperature stress like they had, that's going to make it much more difficult for their heart to keep up with their growth. So I was looking for another little bird, and I say little because she's small. I don't know if you can see this right here. So like here's one of the birds, you know, full-grown large bird, and then this little bird right here. She's small. I've called her Minnie. She's perfectly healthy. She just didn't grow as fast. And even look here, see how this bird, we can still see its skin. That's also because of their fast growth. The feathers don't grow in quite fast enough to keep up with the growth of the bird. So those birds are actually ready to go to the processor. So lastly, I'm going to show you what we transport our birds in. So we use transport crates to keep them safe while they're being moved. And we can fit 8 in a crate. It's going to take us 9 crates with this group, but there are our crates, those yellow things. So there's a couple stacked up there. And we just pick our birds up super carefully, just right under the front of the bird like that. And we put them in the crates and carefully shut the door. And look, there's a hen, there's a girl, and here's a rooster, here's a guy. So, hey, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon. And press subscribe. Have a great day.